Some wounds never leave scars on the skin, yet they cut deeper than anything visible. They live inside the nervous system, shaping how you think, how you see yourself, and how you move through life. Being entangled with a narcissistic woman can feel like being trapped in a storm you didn't see coming. At first, there's charm, affection, and intensity. But over time, the mask slips. What looked like love reveals itself as control. What felt like passion turns into manipulation. This video is not about revenge. It is about freedom. It is about reclaiming the emotional energy that was stolen from you and learning how to build a life where no one can touch your peace again. It is about seeing through illusions, refusing to be drained, and walking away with quiet strength. Here on Emotional Soulmate, the focus is on exposing emotional abuse and narcissistic manipulation, while guiding you toward recovery, clarity, and empowerment. If you've ever felt trapped, silenced, or broken by someone who thrived on your confusion, you are in the right place. Stay with this video until the end, because each step matters, each part builds on the last, and by the final moment, you'll feel something shift inside you, something strong, unshakable. Part 1. The energy they feed on. A narcissistic woman does not thrive on love the way you do. Her world is not built on mutual care, respect, or genuine connection. Instead, her survival depends on attention, control, and the emotional energy she can extract from those around her. What feels nourishing and sacred to you, love, intimacy, trust, is nothing more than raw material for her to manipulate. It does not matter if you are pouring endless affection into her or crying in pain because of her actions. To her, both are the same. Energy she can use to sustain her dominance. She is not interested in the nature of the emotion, whether positive or negative. She only cares that it flows toward her. As long as you are reacting, as long as your emotional world revolves around her, she remains in control. Every attempt you make to clarify a misunderstanding, every late-night argument that leaves you drained, every desperate search for meaning in her silence, all of it strengthens her system. She thrives on your confusion because confusion keeps you engaged. She does not need your love. She needs your emotional response. That is the hidden truth. The power has always been in your hands, though it may not feel that way. The moment you stop supplying her with emotional energy, the moment you stop chasing answers, stop trying to please her, stop carrying the weight of her moods, her carefully constructed illusion begins to collapse. You do not have to fight her or scream at her. You simply have to stop feeding the fire. Part 2. The strength of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. Many think of it as weakness, passivity, or avoidance. But in the face of narcissistic manipulation, silence is power. It is a conscious refusal to step into the chaos she creates. It is the decision to stop playing her game on her terms. When you stop responding, you deny her the very weapon she craves, your emotional reaction. Without your constant explaining, defending, or apologizing, she loses her grip. Her greatest tool is confusion. Your greatest weapon is clarity. Choosing silence does not mean you have stopped caring about life, love, or relationships. It means you have started caring about yourself. It means you finally recognize that your peace matters more than trying to be understood by someone who never had the capacity to see you. This shift is not small. It is revolutionary. Silence is not an absence of power. It is the presence of self-control. It says, without words, that you are no longer available for manipulation. It communicates strength, louder than any argument could. It marks the beginning of your freedom. Part 3. Breaking the cycle of confusion. For too long, confusion has been normalized. When you live in the orbit of a narcissistic woman, you are drawn into endless cycles that look like progress but lead nowhere. Arguments repeat in different forms, doubts spiral with no resolution, and your search for answers always comes back empty. This is not accidental, it is the design. Narcissistic manipulation thrives on repetition, because repetition keeps you trapped. Every time you attempt to resolve things, she pulls you back into the same loop. She does not want closure. She wants continuation. The real rebellion is refusing to enter the cycle at all. That means no more decoding mixed signals, no more analyzing silences, no more desperate requests for explanations that never come. Instead, you allow silence and clarity to speak for themselves. When you step outside the cycle, the entire dynamic changes. You stop existing inside her emotional system. Suddenly, the power shifts. She cannot manipulate someone who no longer plays the game. This is where her control begins to dissolve. Part 4. Boundaries that don't need announcing. Boundaries are often thought of as declarations, loud statements of what will and will not be tolerated. But with a narcissistic woman, the strongest boundaries are not spoken. They are lived. They are demonstrated in your behavior, your calm, and your refusal to engage. She expects you to plead, to defend, to collapse under the weight of her guilt trips. When you do not, she does not know how to respond. Her control always depended on your reactions. Without them, she loses direction. This kind of calm is not indifference. It is strength. It is the quiet decision that her manipulation, rage, and drama no longer have a place in your body. Each time you resist the urge to explain yourself to someone who only twists your words, you reinforce your boundary. Each time you stay calm in the face of her storm, you reclaim your power. Slowly, she spirals into the emptiness she once filled with your energy. What once consumed you now collapses in silence, and you, instead of being drained, stand rooted, clear, and whole. Part 5. Choosing peace over chaos. A relationship with a narcissist is built on storms. She creates chaos, so you lose sight of your ability to walk away. She thrives on turmoil, because turmoil keeps you engaged. But peace is the key that unlocks the door. When you choose peace, when you stop defending, stop reacting, and stop explaining, you shatter the structure she depends on. Her system cannot survive in calmness. Choosing peace does not mean you are numb. It means you are wise. You see the patterns for what they are. You understand the game, and you decline to play it. You no longer carry her dysfunction. You protect your own joy. This choice is not weakness. It is strength at its purest form. It is the moment you recognize that your peace matters more than her storms. And in that moment, everything changes. Part 6. The power of indifference. The wound a narcissistic woman cannot recover from is not anger, hatred, or even rejection. It is irrelevance. When you no longer need her approval, her apology, or her acknowledgement, she loses her identity. Indifference is often misunderstood as coldness, but here, it is freedom. It is not pretending not to care. It is truly not needing anything from her anymore. That is what makes you untouchable. When you stop checking her behavior, stop chasing her attention, and stop waiting for her to change, you reclaim your worth. Your value is no longer tied to her validation. The grip she once held over you is gone. What once controlled you now becomes powerless. This is the shift that ends the cycle. This is the indifference that dismantles her illusion of power. Part 7. Growing Stronger in Silence. Healing is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it looks like steady mornings, deep breaths, and a mind no longer at war with itself. Sometimes it is the discipline of choosing not to spiral when old triggers appear. The transformation she fears most is not external success or material achievements. It is the inner glow she cannot touch. It is the emotional balance she cannot disrupt. It is the calm strength of someone who no longer begs for love that should have been freely given. This growth is not fueled by revenge. It is born from freedom. You are no longer tied to her control. You are no longer drained by her chaos. Instead, you live in a strength that is untouchable, a strength she cannot steal. The power has always been yours. Freedom does not arrive in one grand moment. It arrives in small choices. Each time you choose silence over reaction, clarity over confusion, peace over chaos, you take back another piece of your life. The narcissist did not break you. She revealed the places that needed healing, and through that healing, you became whole, not bitter, not cold, just untouchable to the dysfunction that once consumed you. This is not revenge. This is peace. And once you feel it, you never return to the old cycle again. You did not go silent. You became unstoppable. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all.